All right. Hey, everybody. This is Tess from Omni Social Media. Tonight we are talking about event marketing. There's two handouts that you should have received with this recording. One looks like this, event marketing. It's just 3 pages. And then the other one is this worksheet. And if you're in the inner circle, this worksheet is also in the files section of the inner circle group. And this is one of my favorite worksheets to hand out and to work with. And I give it to people all the time. And it's a very powerful worksheet. So I'm going to be talking about these 2 things tonight for you to follow along with. And so thanks everyone for being here and watching this back. We're going to talk about event marketing and how you can leverage your event. I feel like so many times we set events, whether they're home parties or networking meetings or whatever they are. And then we get really disappointed with the outcome when 2 or 3 people show up. And that really drives me nuts because I'm like, no, there's so much good that comes from events, even if only 1 person shows up. It's not about the amount of people who show up to your event. It's how you leverage that event to make it into something bigger than the event date and time itself actually happening. And so that's the biggest thing I'm going to be harping on tonight. It's event marketing is not about the 2-hour event that's actually taking place. It's about everything else around that and how you can grow your business and really leverage that event. Because even if 2 or 3 people show up, those 2 people were meant to be there. You were meant to give them one-on-one attention and grow those relationships specifically. But for the other 15, 20, 30, 100 people that were supposed to be there that weren't there, you can still get business and grow the relationship and leverage your business and your content. So like I said, this is one of my favorite topics to talk about, and let's dive in. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. Do you guys have events coming up on the calendar?
I do not.
I don't either.
Okay. That's okay. That's why we're doing this tonight. And one thing I encourage you is start thinking about when's your next event. The biggest thing when planning an event that I see as well is people will plan one event and that's it. And I'm like, wait, but when's the follow-up event? So you're almost planning a series of events and you don't tell people there's another one. You just tell people there's this one. Oh, I can't come. Oh, no problem. Would you like me to put you on the list for October 28th? And they're like, sure, and so you can get them then. Or I'm planning an event in 2 weeks. It's August 13th. And it's a night of peace and love event that I'm doing. So I'm going to kind of be using this event as my example, but it's a private event that I'm hosting, women only, at my home. And at the event, I'm going to be announcing my next event. Now, my next event's not till January, but I'm going to start planting the seeds and creating a buzz and having, hey, welcome, Nancy, having that on the radar. So when you're looking at an event, know that you're not just planning one event. You're going to be planning 2, I suggest 3, maybe they're quarterly events, maybe they're every 6 months, or maybe it's an annual event that you have. Kind of be figuring it out. And because we're doing all this work to create events and momentum, and then they just stop. And I'm like, that was so much greatness for your business, and then it's just over. And then a year later, you're like, I think I want to throw another event. And you have you do all this work. And it's, if we cycle them on each other and build them on each other, it's a lot more effective for your energy and your contacts. And it's a great way to leverage. So just consider that as you're thinking, okay, what do I want my next event to be? And on the top of this worksheet, I really call this a showcase your business event. And so some things that we're going to be talking about tonight is are you going to sell a product or service at your event? What does that look like? Are you just there to get the word out about your event? What are you trying to do? And so with your event, we're going to be working through all of that. But I wanted to also, oh no. I got a phone call, and of course.
Tess, with that document that you were showing us, did you say that was in files on the?
This one, it's called Event Success, probably, in the files section.
Yeah, I don't see it.
or showcase your business in the file section of the inner circle.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't see either of those.
And then this should also be in the calendar invite that I sent to you. There's an attachment section.
Oh, okay.
So it should also be there as well. One thing that's like, if you're really consistent, and like Deb, this probably doesn't apply to your business, but one thing that I always use Joni Han as a example. She does monthly, the first Monday of every month, she hosts a wine event. She's in the wine business. And she just focuses on getting 2 to 3 people there every month. And so all month long, oh, you can't come this, she'll just meet somebody at a networking event or in person. She'll invite them. Oh, you can't come this month? No problem. Can you make it to my September one? Oh, you can't do that one? Can you make it to my October one? And it's a thing where they're like, put me down for November, right? And so then she's like, okay, and she can fill up her slots and really just focus on, 2 or 3 people every month, and it's a reoccurring event that she does. So hers are monthly. Yours might be, like I said, quarterly, and then also, or just yearly. Once a year is great as well. And just know, okay, I'm going to have this event once a year for the venue, for your contacts, and people's celebration. My husband is probably doing his best trying to keep the baby quiet. I'm going to text him and say, give her milk. Give her milk. Okay. So hopefully that helps. Hi, Vanessa. Welcome. We're just kind of diving in. We're talking about not only planning your one event, but also piggybacking. So Vanessa is planning a huge community event with like thousands of people will be involved in San Ramon for the Run for Education. And I brought it up to them. Hey, let's not just plan for 2019. Let's also piggyback these plans. And you can't sponsor for 2019? No problem. Would you like me to put you on the list to contact you in 2020 and start getting sponsors for 2020 when people say no to 2019? So anything that you're thinking of, just try to think, how can I duplicate this and make a list in either Excel spreadsheet or a Google Doc where you're documenting who you spoke to, and we'll go into this deeper. Okay. Oh. Yes?
No, that's great. Thank you.
Oh, okay, cool. Annabelle, you're on mute, by the way. So tonight's topic is event marketing. Just a little bit about me. I've been in business for 4 years, and yeah, I'm having fun. I'm loving it. I've helped over, I want to say I'm at like 4,000 business owners with their strategy. And so I love talking social media marketing, business strategy, all of that fun stuff, growth, ideas, getting creative with your branding and whatnot. And so before we continue, let's just dive in a little bit. Who is here today? Annabelle, you want to go ahead?
Okay, it's Annabelle Colstock, and I'm with Arbonne. We have vegan, plant-based health products for skin and body. And I've known Tess since, 7 years now. I remember meeting you when I first started networking here in Pleasanton and Livermore. And so
I know.
I just love what you're doing.
Have you been in business?
5 years.
Okay, so yeah.
And I love what I'm learning from you, Tess. So much great stuff. If I could just be consistent with it.
Hey, there's still more time. There's more time. Deb, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Deb DeVries, and I have kind of an odd product because my product is me. I'm an actor and a voiceover artist, and I launched my voiceover business last year. So I'm trying to glean all the insights I can and, kind of massage them a little bit or manage them a little bit and morph them into how I can use them to promote, I guess, myself.
You're doing a good job. And I'm so proud of you for posting your current project on social media.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's awesome. Nancy, do you want to go ahead?
Sure. I'm Nancy Weatherholt, and I've been building my business for 20 plus years. And I think I met Tess quite a while ago. I don't know how many years ago it's been. Probably 6 or 8, maybe.
Yeah.
And so my business is Mary Kay Cosmetics, and we also now have a natural skincare line. And then I also am the managing director of Polka Dot Powerhouse in Pleasanton. Yeah.
Awesome. Vanessa, you want to share who you are?
Sure. I'm Vanessa Brastain, and I'm the Executive Director for the San Ramon Valley Education Foundation. And I reached out to Tess because I saw that she was helping one of my friends with her HR business and the social media, and it was amazing. And I loved what I was seeing. I liked the positive, uplifting vibe that all of her posts had. So I reached out, and now she's helping us. And we are probably one of the few nonprofits in this group, but we are the main fundraising organization for the San Ramon Valley Unified School District.
Nice.
Yep. So.
And then Leah, you want to go ahead?
Sure. I am the president of a local nonprofit that was organized to develop an 18-acre parcel of county-owned parkland. So.
And what city? Because you're not local to us.
Oh, sorry. Nope, I'm not. I'm in Helena, Montana.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Cool.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Okay, cool. So let's dive in. Okay, so one of the things that I'm going to be talking about tonight too is obviously like who doesn't like to party, right? And hosting an event and having a party and having like going into this effort, you're like, oh, I just want to have fun and get people together and you know. Did you give her the milk? I want to get together and people don't always think about the business aspect of this. And so again, if you know me, you know I love talking business, cash flow, and talking about how, you know, kind of taking off the, hi, I'm Tess, I'm your friend hat to, okay, I have to put food on, you know, pay rent and buy groceries and, you know, have an income. I'm not just a party event planner. And so how does that relate? How do you kind of shift from the, hey, I just want to get people together because I love people and I love my product to, no, I need to make this a productive use of my time. Because that's, at the end of the day, you're putting a lot of energy into this and it needs to be a productive use. So set a goal or an objective for your event. Why are you having this event? And this is not something that you publicize. This is something that you just write down you keep it to yourself, really, or maybe you tell one or two people, your mentor or your spouse or, you know, me, obviously, or somebody, but this is something really private. So what's your objective or your goal for this event? And maybe it's, I want 20 new people to know about my business or I was just speaking with a interior designer, and she has like a $300 interior designer product. And I said, okay, well, why don't we you could throw an event, and out of the 20 women there, your goal could be to get 3 people to give you a deposit. And so she's going to throw this nice event in her backyard. She doesn't know which 3 of the 20 people are going to buy from her, but you need to have an objective. So how many people are you going to have at this event? And then how many people are you going to do business with because of this event? Again, it's super awkward because you're kind of like scheming or whatever a little bit, I guess you could say. And again, but the more awkward you are, the more money you'll make. And these efforts have to lead to productiveness and cash flow for your business. And so set an objective for your event. Deborah, why are you interested in this webinar, or what kind of are you thinking? Because you're the only one that's like, I'm like, what would you?
Yeah, I don't have a preconceived notion.
Yeah.
Tess, I thought I would just listen and see, you know, it may spark a creative idea.
Okay, cool. Because you're the only one I'm like, I don't know how you could, you know, sell something at an event, but everybody else here has like a product or a service.
Right.
Okay, cool. So what do you want your attendees to take away from it? The other thing is, I think, okay, if you know, let's just use the scenario 3 out of 20, you know, actually say, okay, I want to do business with you at this event or because of this event. The other 17 people, I want them just to be like, you know, a referral source for me, know how to best refer me.
Mm-hmm.
I still want them to be educated on my products and services. I know that I'm not going to do business with 100% of the people who show up at the event. That's like ideal, but it's not going to happen, right? I want to set realistic goals, but I still want those other 17 people something to be productive in the relationship and in this that I'm doing. So again, envision your event, like really like write out how it's going to be. So like my upcoming event, I'm like, I envision us sipping champagne from champagne shoots and just having like a good heart-to-heart time with other women. And I'm like envisioning this, but like I'm expecting a baby, so I can't drink. So it's like, obviously I'm not going to be sipping champagne, but I'm still envisioning like the other women and how I'm going to set up the glasses so that when the women come in, I can hand them one and they can just relax and all their worries are away. And then we'll go into the night of the evening. Like I'm picturing the women walking up the stairs and into my house. Sorry, when I get a phone call, happens. Literally walking into my house one by one and me handing them a champagne shoot or like a little champagne glass with, you know, champagne in it. And so really envision your event, envision your guests arriving, envision, you know, the whole night. You can write out a schedule and a timeline. Is it relaxed and casual, more formal, like a conference? And then you start planning the details. So location, food, agenda. This is obvious when we're the vibe of your event. What do you want it to, you know, who do you want it to inspire to be like? Do you want it to be, you know, a Marilyn Monroe kind of more classic style? Or do you want it to be like a Angelina Jolie style? Or like, who do you envision attending your party, right? Like celebrity wise. And then, base it off that. So how will your guests RSVP? This is another thing that's very technical. Will they call you? Will they text you? Do you have an Eventbrite link? Is it a paid for event? Do they have to pay to attend? $5 or $25 or $75? What does that look like? And what does the RSVP look like? Because this is, again, something that I'm like, I get confused at a lot of times and it deters me from committing or signing up. But however you have this RSVP set up for your event, I would make sure it includes collecting email addresses. So even if you want them to call you to RSVP, okay, then expect to say, and what's your email address when you take that RSVP? Not super efficient because you're writing it down and trying to ask them. Are they filling out a form? Getting an email address is key for 2 reasons. And I'm going to tell you the reasons in just a second. But you have to get email addresses when somebody RSVPs or doesn't RSVP. Even if they say no, how can you still collect that information? And then have a simple, easy method for your guests, like I just said. Okay, so building anticipation and excitement. So that's what this sheet is all about. So what you can do is, if you don't have an event on your calendar right now, I suggest it takes about 6 weeks to do to plan your next event. So don't plan something in the next, Tessa did her event, I'm gonna plan an event for next week or for 1 month from now. I really think it takes 6 weeks to really properly get a good event turnout. It takes a lot of work again. And so I would say plan it 6 weeks from now. Create a timeline for your marketing event. So this timeline is kind of what you could do. You could create an event on Facebook, whether it's public or private. Every time you have an event, I want to see it on Facebook. Again, it can be private and I won't see it on Facebook unless you invite me. Send it in an email. Maybe you don't have email addresses yet. We can talk about this, but sending it in some sort of an email, I think people are pretty, you probably have email addresses for a lot of the people. You could also mail an invite. This takes, again, it depends on what your event is. I don't really think this mailing an invite would apply to a lot of you except for maybe Vanessa and then Leah. Hi, Janice. Depending on what your event is, you two would be probably the only ones where you have like more serious like fundraising event for Leah, and then the Vanessa, if you guys do mailers for the run, and then a phone call Okay, hey, it's Tess. Just want to make sure you saw my Facebook event and my email and my mailer about my upcoming event. And reminding people. And so what I would say is this is kind of overwhelming to do all of these. Pick three different modalities that you touch, that you invite somebody. So if you don't mail an invite, then you either have to call, Facebook event, and private message them. So pick 3 out of these 5 that you're going to do. Now, Vanessa, is probably going to be hard for you to call people. But you'll probably more likely mail an invite. So you don't have to do all of these 5, but pick at least 3 that work for you. And then these are all 6 weeks out. So you're going to roll out this marketing leading up to the event. And this is what builds excitement. So one of the biggest things that I've seen that's very effective is if you give people an idea of the venue and what to expect. And Vanessa, you've been doing a really good job with that. So like, take a picture of the event space, even if it's an empty conference room that you're hosting the event at, and go there and take a picture of the empty conference room. And you can say, this place will be filled up with bustling people in 6 weeks, and give them an idea of like, hey, there's plenty of parking. You're going to walk through these doors, and then you're going to be handed a glass of champagne, and then you're going to see this. And then people are like, have already been to the event in their mind. So when push comes to shove and day of comes, how many people are like, never mind, I'm too tired to go. Or, oh, my husband takes priority and they need me. Instead of, no, I'm going to this event because I've already lived it once in my mind. They're a lot more likely to actually make the effort and come. If it's something that they're teetering about. Oh, that's a really far drive. Oh, traffic says it's going to be, take 20 minutes instead of the 10 minutes I thought it was going to get there. Maybe I won't go. I've done that before. I'm like, traffic's too bad. I'm not going to go to this event because I don't know what to expect. But if I've seen it in my mind, I'm like, no. I'm going to leave 20 minutes earlier and sit in traffic and be there because I know that it's going to be awesome because I've already envisioned it in my head. So this, again, is a thing that I see people miss over and over. They don't tell me what to expect. So I'm like, it's not worth it for me to leave my house, honestly. But if I know what to expect, I'm like, okay, bye, babe, I gotta go. So give people an idea of the venue, the room, what food there is, if there's food there. If I know there's food there, that's another reason why I'm going to be at this event. Design collateral and graphics. So again, you might have 2 or 3 types of different graphics that say the exact same thing to promote the event, just in different eye-catching ways. This you can do through Canva. You can also reach out to me. I can help you with this. But you could put it on your website, your social media, in your email blast, in your Facebook group, or your Facebook event that you created. You have to post in there at least, what does the sheet say? Post 5 times before the event. So over 6 weeks, you're posting 5 times in the Facebook event itself that you've invited people to. People set up the event and then they don't invite people. People set up the Facebook event and then they're like 0 people invited, 0 people interested, 0 people going. And I'm like, okay, you got to at least invite like 5 to 10, 15 people plus, or, continue. Again, invite some more. 3 different avenues. We kind of already talked about this. This 1 through 40, before you even set up the Facebook event, you're going to look through your phone. Who are the 40 people that you're going to invite? Whether it's for your son's graduation party, or you're probably going to have more than 40 people for that, or, an upcoming event, who are the 40 people that you're going to invite? And a lot of these people you might not have talked to in a while. And that's why event marketing is so great, because it gives you a reason to call them and be like, hey, I know we haven't chatted in a while, but I'm hosting this event and I was wondering if you were interested in coming. I can text you the details or invite you on Facebook if you're interested. And so when you have a list of 40 names, you're going to be really motivated to make this happen. But if you're just like, I'm just going to have an event and I'm just going to see who comes, you're going to be disappointed. And so writing down 40 people here is huge. And again, Deb, like if you don't have an upcoming event, maybe you just need to get some new business, right?
Yes.
Go through your phone and just ignore this timeline and just write down 40 people who could possibly refer you. Hey,
Excellent.
I'm not sure if you can refer me or not. Just wanted to make sure you know I'm doing this awesome thing. What's your email address? No, I'm just kidding. I want to always ask email addresses. But this is a great way. I'll give this sheet out to people all the time who contact me and are just like, Tess, I just am not getting any business. I'm like, all right, let's write down 40 people right now that you can contact and call. And so just even writing down names can be really motivating. And then, of course, you can invite them to an event that you're hosting.
Great.
Okay, so people might say no, oh, you know, it's back to school or whatever. And then no problem, like for me, no problem. Are you available? I know it's far away, but would you like me to put you on the list for January? Oh, sure, that would be great, you know, and then they don't feel so bad. And then January comes around and I already have a list of 25 people who know that they're going to get a phone call from me and are probably going to attend my event. So it makes that event so much easier to plan, right? And so no is no problem, but have that date. You're not telling everybody about the date. You're just like, oh, you can't come in August? No problem. How's my October date for you? And again, this works really well. Annabelle, I feel like you were doing this for a while.
Yeah, I was. I was doing my healthy happy hours, and I have to get back to doing that.
Yeah, healthy happy hours. And then when someone would say, no, I can't come this month, you already had the next month planned, right?
Yeah. So I
a lot
gotta
of
get back
times.
into that.
And it was so much more helpful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But yeah.
Find an alternative way for them to participate. Okay, so again, let's go back to our main objective of the event. Okay, my objective is to sell 3 hair care kits, or my objective is to sell 3 packets of protein that night, or whatever it is. And so, no, you can't come, no problem, and you don't have another event on the calendar or whatever. Would you like to meet via Zoom or one-to-one so I can tell you what we're going to be covering at the event? So turn the no's into a one-to-one and say, no problem, I don't want you to miss out on the specials that I'm going to be offering that night. Would you like to set up a quick phone call so I can go over them with you? And then they can say yes or no to that. And if they say yes, great. What day and time works for you? If they say no to that, okay, no problem. And you could say, would love to see you at a community event in the future, or I'll just put your name on the list. But most likely they won't say no. Most likely they'd be like, yeah, sure, right? So find an alternative way for them to participate. This is more if you have like a webinar or something, send them the links afterwards. Hold a raffle. Oh, this is so much fun. This was super effective. 2 or 3 months ago, I was doing a women's event, and it was for my philanthropy group. And we were hosting an open house, and we wanted to get people to come and bring a friend. So I started saying, okay, if you bring a friend, you will be entered to win a $25 gift card. They didn't know what it was. And I got one of the people to sponsor. They paid for the gift card. So I didn't even have to pay for the $25 gift card. And I was like, bring a friend. And somebody posted it on Nextdoor, and somebody came because of their post. So they got entered into a raffle. And we ended up having 5 or 10 people who brought a friend. Some of them, it was by accident because they just shared it online, or we tracked it back to how they heard about the event. And then I was like, okay, and the winner is, and I gave somebody $25, and somebody was like, well, if I would have known that, I would have stood outside a Safeway and dragged people here. And so people love free stuff. And so that's a really good idea, is bring a friend to be entered to win $25 to Starbucks, or maybe it's a little gift basket that you have, or it doesn't have to be a bottle of wine. It doesn't have to be an expensive gift, but it's just a fun way. And people are like, especially if you have another event that you're throwing 6 weeks later or 1 month later, people are like, I'm going to bring an event to the next one, or bring a friend to the next one she hosts because she's going to do this again and I want to be entered to win. Like, people get so competitive. And so holding raffles is a great way to increase your attendance. Bring a friend and you will get. And I always encourage people to bring networking, business cards, bring business cards and a friend, and you'll walk away with some great prizes. And then always plan out your thank you ahead of time. So even I've pre-written my thank you notes before, like not my thank you notes, but like my thank you script that I'm going to post online after the event, because the event happens and I get so hyper and so excited. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. I forget to say thank you a lot of times. And then I'm like posting online, like, thank you so much for everybody who came. It was awesome, blah. And it's like, it's just not well put together professional. And so take some time before the event, 5 to 10 minutes, pre-type a thank you note, and that you can post or send to an email. And then that way, when you have the event, you can go back and edit it and like make it specific to the event. But it just helps me so much because, especially me, I guess I'm an extrovert and I get super excited, and then I literally can't even put my thoughts together, and a week goes by and I forgot to say thank you because of, everything else. And so posting online or writing an email or even private messaging, thank you so much for attending this event. I really appreciate that you took the time to come, even if they didn't do business with you and all of that stuff, can really solidify attendance for your next event again. And then also those referrals that feel good. People think back about the event the next day, and it's almost like they relive it again. So now they've attended your event in their mind 3 times. They lived it before it happened because you kind of presented it to them. They attended it, and now a day or 2 later, they're thinking about it again. And again, that psychology is going to be really, really helpful for referrals and for them to easily do business and say, actually, you know what? I do want to take advantage of what you were selling that night. And so it's almost like 3 events in one, which is a really good way to kind of, again, leverage your event and leverage this energy that we all put so much energy and passion into what we're doing, and we just want it to be the best and the most successful. And so these are just easy, free ways that you can leverage the mental mindset and the mental psychology. It allows another chance for you to connect and follow up with them. And then, of course, hey, save the date for your next event. One more thing that I wanted to talk about that I didn't think that was in this presentation is when you have an event, talk about it in person at your networking events. So this is, again, something that I see people forget all the time. And if you're in a BNI or if you're in a weekly meeting group, hey guys, I have an event. It's coming up in 6 weeks. Save the date, and talk about that event and be like, hey, it's going to be awesome. We're going to do a drawing. There's going to be prizes and networking and champagne and little crystal shoots, right? Give them an idea and they're like, oh, that's cute. Don't have FOMO. Come to the event. Save the date now and talk about it in person. Because that can be super powerful, and people are like, man, that girl's always having parties. When does she do business, right? But they don't know that you're actually doing business all the time. And so then they want to come. They're like, oh, I'm missing out. I want to get to know this person. I want to be invited to her next thing. Even if they don't have any intention of coming, people want invites, okay? And so invite everyone. And this sheet is 40. Maybe you have 80 people. Maybe you have more. Somebody sent me a picture of this filled out the other day, and this was completely filled out, plus another like sheet and a half of just like names. They're just like online paper. I'm like, dude, that's money in the bank. So writing down the names is so, so powerful. And so go through your Facebook contacts, go through your phone contacts, and just don't think about it too much. Just put down names of that people. And honestly, y'all know that I'm very centered and a Christian, and I pray over the contacts, and I'm like, show me which contacts need to be invited to this event that I'm having. And they do. Like, the right people come and the right people do business with me, because you start with that mindset of abundance and intuition and like knowing, like, please give me guidance of who I need to have there or who needs this product or service. And then miraculously, it always works out, and the right people are who we're meant to be. I get super excited. Okay, so just so everybody knows, I think everybody does know, but I offer private training, so private strategy sessions to talk about this specifically, event marketing or business strategy or your social media marketing, group trainings like what you're attending tonight. And then also we do post for people. So we can post for post for businesses. Typically that looks like somebody who has a website, who has probably 5+ employees. We would maybe be a good candidate for us to post for them on a regular basis. So we can post like 3 times a week on your Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all that fun stuff, and keep you looking fly online. So just so you guys know, we do have all these services. And now I'm going to open it up. Does anybody have any questions?
Tess.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Tess. Where can I find that name list? Because for some
This list? Annabelle,
Yeah.
you didn't find
Yeah,
it in
I got
Inner
it.
Circle?
I did. I just found it.
So
Do
where
you remember what it was called?
Let's see. Go back to here.
So 2 places, Annabelle or Nancy. One, we will email it to you when we email you this recording in the next 24 hours. And the second place is if you go to the Inner Circle group on Facebook. Go ahead, Annabelle.
It's called Event Success.
Event Success. In the file section. So if you go to the OICC group, search that on Facebook, go to the Inner Circle group, and then it says files on the side. And then it's called Event Success. But we'll also email it to you when I email you.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions? Janice, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I'm making my dinner.
What are you having?
Chicken with roasted potatoes and bell